Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what kept people obedient in the medieval world? No phones, no cameras, no law to protect you, just fear. Raw, public, unforgettable fear. They could do this to anyone. And that wasn't an exaggeration. Most victims weren't monsters. They were ordinary people who made a mistake or simply annoyed the wrong person. Today you'll hear punishments so dark, some medieval scribes refuse to record the full details. And I want you to keep something in mind as we begin. Every single punishment I'm about to describe was designed not just to kill the body, but to break the mind. Before we descend into the darkness, make sure you hit subscribe. You'll want to see what comes next, because history only gets darker from here. Let's start. 1. The Scarlet Cage. Imagine being locked in a metal cage, just big enough for you to stand, but not big enough to sit. Your spine bends, your knees shake, your muscles tremble. This wasn't just torture, it was time turned into a weapon. Hours became days. Days became something worse. The cage was hung high, above the market. People walked under you, pointing, laughing, waiting to see the moment you'd break. Birds pecked at you. The sun scorched you. Rain soaked you overnight. And as your body weakened, your mind whispered the same question over and over. Is anyone coming for me? This wasn't the medieval world testing your pain tolerance. It was testing your sanity. And the truth is, most people didn't last long. Some begged to be executed instead. Now that your mind is locked in the cage, let's move to something far more physical. 2. The Judas Cradle. You're stripped, bound, dragged in front of a crowd, and then you see it. A wooden pyramid, smooth, polished, waiting. They tie your wrists and ankles, lift you up, and lower you onto the sharpened tip. Not enough to pierce, just enough to invade your body slowly. But here's the terrifying part. Your entire weight becomes the torture. Every breath makes you sink a little deeper. Every tremble pushes you further down. Your muscles try to hold you up, but gravity is cruel. People fainted not from pain, but from the shame of being displayed this way. And the executioner watched calmly, controlling the ropes, letting you fall 1 inch at a time. A punishment designed to prove your own body can destroy you better than any weapon. Speaking of destruction, now comes a punishment where the environment itself becomes the killer. 3. Scaphism. Imagine this. Your body is forced into 2 hollowed-out wooden boats, one on top, one on bottom, leaving your head, arms, and legs sticking out. Sounds bearable? Just wait. They feed you milk and honey until your stomach churns and refuses to hold more. Then they smear honey on your skin and push you onto a stagnant pond. And that's when nature begins its work. Flies, mosquitoes, ants, beetles, worms. Every insect within miles smells your sweat and sugar. They crawl into your nose, your mouth, your wounds. They burrow under your skin. They breed inside the boat. You feel something moving, not outside your body, but inside it. Historians say victims stayed conscious for days, listening to insects slither and chew beneath their flesh. And the worst part? You could hear yourself rotting. If you think that's unbearable, the next punishment is even more horrifying because the victim was actually given hope before it was ripped away. 4. The Brazen Bull. A hollow bronze bull, belly empty, body cold, mouth open. You're pushed inside and the metal feels freezing against your skin. At first. Then the fire is lit. The belly warms, then heats, then burns. Your skin doesn't blister all at once. It starts with an itch, then a sting, then the sharp pain of flesh peeling away. Your hands lift, but the ceiling is hot. Your feet rise, but the floor is hotter. There's nowhere to go. You're trapped inside a cooking chamber, and the air becomes thick, hard to breathe, and every scream turns into a twisted sound that echoes out of the bull's mouth like a real animal crying. The inventor of this device, Perilos, designed it proudly. He demonstrated how the pipes would make the screams sound beautiful. The king was impressed, so impressed, that he ordered Perilos to be the first to test it. What kind of world burns a man alive inside his own invention? A world we're still trying to understand. But if fire terrifies you, the next one is worse. Because it doesn't burn your skin, it breaks the very structure of your body. 5. The breaking wheel. The wheel, a punishment used across Europe and feared everywhere. Victims weren't simply tied down. Their limbs were stretched across wooden planks. And then, the executioner took a heavy iron bar and smashed each limb, one by one. Arms twisted backwards, legs shattered sideways, bones splintered into the muscle. Some records say victims remained conscious through 30 breaks. But here's the part most people don't know. After the bones were crushed, the broken body was wrapped around the wheel like a grotesque spiral and lifted high for the birds to feed on. The suffering wasn't the goal, the display was. And if you think the worst part is the pain, you're wrong. The worst part is hearing the crowd go silent because even they can't believe a human body can make those sounds. And just when you think the body can't suffer more, 6. The saw execution. You're hung upside down, tied at the ankles. Blood rushes to your head, and your vision pulses with your heartbeat. At first, everything feels strangely warm. Then you see 2 men stepping forward, carrying a long wooden saw. They begin between your legs. Here's what nobody tells you. You're upside down so the blood stays in your brain, meaning you stay conscious for much longer than you should. Each pull of the saw vibrates through your spine. Your body jerks. You want to scream, but the blood filling your throat chokes you silent. Some regions didn't even need an executioner for this. Townspeople did it themselves. Humans didn't just tolerate torture back then. They participated. But the final punishment is the most psychologically terrifying of all. Not because of pain, but because of hope. The hope that kills you slowly. 7. The rack, the torture of false hope. The rack wasn't designed to kill you immediately. It was designed to make you believe you might survive. You're tied down, wrists on one end, ankles on the other. The ropes are tight, but not painful, at first. Then the turning begins. You hear the wooden beams creak, a sound that haunts every prisoner long before they feel pain. Your joints separate, your shoulders shift, your hips dislocate, your spine stretches past what it was ever meant to do. But here's the psychological trap. The executioner always stops right before you pass out. He lets you breathe. He lets you believe you can still walk away. Then he starts again. Some people confess to crimes they didn't commit just to end the cycle of false hope. Because hope, twisted into a weapon, is more painful than broken bones. These were the punishments they did talk about, but medieval records hint at things far darker, far more secret, punishments used only in dungeons, by inquisitors, or by kings who didn't want witnesses. If you want part 2, where we uncover the punishments whispered in chronicles, hidden by priests, and banned across Europe, then stay close, because this rabbit hole goes much deeper than anyone is ready for.